Welcome to this episode of the Smart Leaders Sell podcast. I'm Jessica Lorimer, sales coach and leadership expert, and I am really excited to dig down into today's episode. We are here, it is Wednesday, and today we are talking about the troll takedown. That's right, today we are talking about how to deal with trolls. Like, who are these keyboard warriors? Why do they have so much time on their hands to, go around randomly being negative to people? And also, why is it stopping you putting out the content that you really want to get out there in front of the world and help you make more money and more impact? It's going to be a big one. I'm really excited. We've got 10 minutes together today. I'm going to make it snappy and hopefully useful. At the time of recording it, I have a bunch of notes that look pretty good, so we should be okay. Just a quick reminder, we are on the 6th of February. Cash creation is only open for another 2 days, so if you are interested in being part of the last live ever round, getting my eyes on your business and generating instant income, make sure that you head into the show notes, grab the link, check out the page, and get yourself signed up. This is the last live round ever. After that, I'm not going to be doing any more live cash creation calls, which I'm actually really upset about, but also really excited about, because it means I can spend my time on other programs and doing some live stuff for other things. But more about that later on. We now have still 10 minutes, well, 9 minutes and 30 seconds to crack on with dealing with trolls. So trolls, what actually are they? Now, when I was younger, my parents will hate this story, but when I was younger, my parents were in the forces. And so we used to stay at lots of different hotels and stuff. We'd move around frequently. And whenever we stayed at a hotel, this is back in the 90s, right? So I remember this vividly. My dad had a Vauxhall Cavalier it was like a silver color. We called it silver, but he was adamant that it was green. I'm not sure whether he was colorblind or what, but we would drive to these places in this Vauxhall Cavalier. It didn't have any heating, so it's always freezing cold. And we'd get to these hotels and we would have nothing to do, because we'd only be there for a couple of nights. We would usually be waiting for our furniture to be moved from place to place. And they always used to have these do not disturb signs on the door. My dad had this interesting sense of humor. And every hotel we went to, he would draw these really cute little trolls, the ones with the spiky hair and like typical 90s fashion. They were like bright pink and purple and stuff. He'd draw one on the do not disturb sign and he'd write like, do not disturb, the troll's sleeping. And so when I came into the online space, I was a bit naive about this whole trolling thing. I was like, oh, cute. There are people who really like the 90s dolls. But no, that is not what a troll is. A troll is somebody who apparently just kind of sits around on the internet waiting for things that they disagree with, and until they can hit that keyboard faster than Usain Bolt's trainers hit the ground on 100-meter sprints, and just be really negative to people. Now, trolls do really bother some people, and a lot of us, we don't put things out there because we worry what people are going to say. We worry about judgment, and trolls kind of fall into this category because often it can be really easy to say to people, well, when you've got your first troll, you've made it. Yay. Someone hates your stuff, so you polarized. Good work. But it doesn't really take into account how we actually feel, because effectively what we feel and what we fear when a troll approaches us, I now can't get the image of 90s trolls out of my head. I'm so sorry for those of you that now have to think about that all day. But we do actually fear rejection, right? If somebody trolls us online, we are being rejected publicly, and that hurts. We also fear embarrassment, right? And again, it's public, so that hurts even more because we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to feel stupid. And that is kind of how we feel when a troll gets hold of our stuff and is really negative about it, or says something publicly about your programs or your content. It's just painful. It's not a great experience. And so that's what generally we fear. It stops us putting out polarizing content. It stops us putting out the things that we really believe, or it stops us, going on Facebook Lives, posting selfies, like whatever that is for you, because we fear this judgment, this rejection, embarrassment, this feeling stupid or feeling less than. And I don't think it's really that helpful to be like, oh, but it's cool, you've got a troll, yay, good for you, because it doesn't explain how to deal with the situation, or if the situation is even going to happen. You know, a troll also shouldn't be used as a benchmarker for your business doing well. I know that sounds so annoying to say, because if you are waiting for your first troll, it's really hard to hear sometimes that your business is not defined by what one keyboard warrior says about you. But I promise that will be helpful later on in the episode. So what are they actually trying to achieve? You know, these trolls that we're talking about, what are they actually trying to achieve? Well, everything we just talked about. They're trying to make you feel judged, feel uncomfortable, feel embarrassed, feel stupid for reasons best known to themselves, so that they feel superior. Okay, and that's the thing. The internet has done many amazing things. Being able to shop from the bath, being able to get groceries within 2 hours, and also, you know, this kind of feeling an entitlement and superiority that has bred itself around the internet. The thing is, though, we can't just stop posting content. We can't just not put things out there just in case we get trolled. Because actually, one of the biggest things that I hear people say to me is, I can't put that piece of content out there because someone might get upset. And what they really mean is, I can't put that piece of content out there, or I can't take that action, or I can't do that thing because somebody might troll me. And then I would feel embarrassed or stupid or rejected or judged. Now, I get that, right? As humans, we don't all have skin like rhino hide. And so it can be really hurtful when somebody judges your content or takes it completely the wrong way, or, you know, just gets a random bee in their bonnet about something you said. But it might not happen, okay? And this is the thing. So many of us stop ourselves doing things, particularly related to sales activities, right? We stop ourselves sending that extra email. We stop ourselves putting out that extra post. We stop ourselves mentioning the pitch on our podcast. Cough, cough, wink, wink. I didn't. I did not let that stop me. I was like, woohoo, going for it. But we do. We stop ourselves doing that because we are so worried that someone will come back and be offended, or, you know, pretend to be offended publicly, and of how that will make us feel. But the reality is, if you are building a community of solid ideal clients, if you are talking to your audience all of the time, if you are, you know, making sure that your content is interesting and being shared by the right people to the right people, and weeding people out early by being polarizing, you'll find that actually you don't get trolled as often. Okay, so the only time, well, actually no, I've been trolled twice in my business. One time was this random guy who, I posted something on my personal Facebook profile, and he said that I looked funny in a picture. And that didn't work out so well, because like 50 people were like, Jess is so attractive, which is really lovely of them. But also the picture, I did look a little bit weird. And I said that publicly, it was fine. But the second time I got trolled was when I decided that I wasn't going to do live trainings in my Facebook group anymore. And that trolling was it wasn't public trolling, right? It was people approaching me and sending emails in response to my decisions. They were like commenting on my Facebook lives about a decision I'd made, where I said, I'm not going to be doing daily live trainings in my Facebook group anymore, because I've been doing them for a year and they were all like 45 minutes long. I was doing them Monday to Friday, and it was a lot of time and a lot of energy, and there were other things that were converting my business better. And so I made the decision, and I had loads of emails from people who emailed me telling me that I was really lazy, telling me that I was really selfish. One person took particular delight in sending me a really lovely email that said, this is why your boyfriend goes away all the time with the army, because you are the worst person, and that's why he doesn't want to spend any time with you. Do you know what? Those things hurt, okay? They do sting, because they are designed to. They're designed to make you feel bad. But the reality is, you can't just not do something. You can't just not go out there and put out content. You can't not make decisions in your business just because it might happen. Because actually that anticipatory fear of, oh my goodness, this might happen, is worse than if it did happen and you had to deal with it. Because if you deal with it, you have a plan, right? So if somebody does troll you, it's not pleasant, but you can deal with it publicly, professionally, and quickly. Okay? You know, if somebody trolls you on a Facebook Live or on a public piece of content, breathe and then handle it, right? Don't ignore it. Don't leave a comment there that's not something you want there. Handle it publicly. Have the conversation. If somebody says, that's a really terrible bit of advice, don't be afraid to comment back. Thanks for your opinion. I really appreciate you pushing this post up in the algorithm. Maybe this time it will reach some people who actually want to learn properly, right? There is no problem with saying that. There is also no problem if people come at you and say, and are repeatedly rude, blocking them. That's fine too. On social media, yeah, cool, consider yourself blocked. You don't even have to tell them, you just do it. But the key thing about if you are trolled is this idea that, it's not the worst thing that's ever going to happen. And yes, there is a high possibility that on the internet, somebody will take offense to what you write, or somebody won't like it, or somebody will pick holes in it. And that is just how the world works. Equally, if you're in a corporate job, that would happen. Equally, if you were running an offline business, that would happen. Just so happens that when it's on the internet, it's easier for other people to share. But instead of worrying about what if, design your content for the right people. And what you'll find is that if you do get trolled, A, you'll be able to handle it like a boss. Okay, you'll be able to sit there and say, actually, thanks for your opinion. It's irrelevant to me, but I really appreciate you taking the time to let me know. And then you'll find that your amazing tribe of engaged fans who you actually do write for, who actually you do podcast for, you do vlog for, they will step in and they won't necessarily take on the troll because nobody's got time for that. But what they will do is they'll write comments that tell you how you changed their life, how that information was useful to them, how your style really resonates with them. And that's way more important than one person who has too much time on your hands. And the other thing that I want you to do is write a little post-it note on your desk. I used to do this, particularly after having an episode of people who did approach me and say things that weren't great. I used to write on a post-it note, the people who have the time to do that, they have way too much time on their hands. And perhaps if they were a little bit more successful in their own business or area of expertise, they'd be a little bit less worried about what I'm doing. Take the power away from the troll and don't stop yourself putting out amazing content that will help you build your business, help you change the world. Because as Babe Ruth once put it, much more eloquently than I did, don't ever let the fear of striking out stop you from playing the game. Or in our case, let the damn keyboard warriors stop you from delivering your impactful message to the masses and making all of the money that you deserve. Have an epic Wednesday. I will see you on Friday for an awesome guest expert interview as part of our 6-Figure Success series. I will see you then. If you need anything in the meantime, you know where I am.